Welcome to Wanderlust Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Crystal.
As travel agents with fantastical vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 115 of Wanderlust Wishes. Today, we're going to talk about one of our favorite times of year to visit Orlando. And that is spooky season, otherwise known as Halloween. And we're going to do this a little differently because we're talking about two very different Halloween experiences.
We're going to talk about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World.
And Halloween Horror Nights 35 at Universal Orlando, which, the two are basically the same thing.
Absolutely not.
One has candy, parade, fireworks.
And then the other one has haunted houses, jump scares, people coming at you with chainsaws.
Yeah, so see, it's exactly the same. Totally same vibe.
So if you ever wondered whether you should plan a Disney Halloween vacation, a Universal Halloween vacation, or some combination of both, we're going to break it down today, what the events are actually like, who they are best for, how to plan them, and which one sounds like a better fit for you and your travel party.
So the interesting thing is that these parties both of them start in August. And for me, it's a little hard to get in the Halloween mood in August when it's 100 degrees outside. So what do you think?
Yes, same. But also, I feel like when the kids go back to school and then it's fall, and you've got to remember I'm in retail, so I'm already ordering things for Halloween and Thanksgiving. I'm kind of ready. I'm sick and tired of the hot weather, so I need cozy fall vibes.
Oh, I'm ready. Believe me. It's just hard for me. I would like it to go straight to like being in the 50s. And so it feels like fall weather. It's just not. And especially when you're in Orlando in August, it's so hot. And they have the pumpkins and everything up. And I don't know. I just think it's I've never been to the party in August, but I think that would be hard for me to get into the Halloween mood just because of the weather.
Yes, but what is our official saying? When it's official with the mouse, it's official with us.
Like, that's true. That's true.
For one, I'm putting up my Christmas tree.
That's true.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what we just talked about, actually. So totally. So are you more of the cutesy Halloween person or the person that wants to be scared out of their wits?
Well, if anybody has been here at all for last Halloween season and listened to my On the Go for Halloween Horror Nights, I am definitely more the cutesy, fun Halloween. I love Halloween. In fact, it's the first year in the existence of having children that we do not have our family Halloween costume already planned out. And usually by now I've already started on it. So taking recommendations for a family of 5, because we've already done so many things. Yeah, I'm not a scary movie person. Been there, done that.
I honestly like both because I'm a Halloween baby. Like, I truly have a birthday on Halloween, not around it, on Halloween. So I love Halloween. I love the scary Halloween movies and the super spooky vibe. But I also absolutely love going to Magic Kingdom with the pumpkins and the Disney treats and just the whole like party vibe and the fireworks and things like that. Let's jump into the two different parties at a high level. At Walt Disney World, we have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It runs on select nights from August 7th through October 31st. Spoiler, October 31st is already sold out. It sells out within hours of tickets going on sale. So that's typical every year. So if you do want a Halloween, not Mickey's Not So Scary party to be able to go, then you need to be on it as soon as the tickets go on sale. The party begins at 7 and goes through midnight. However, they do start letting party guest into Magic Kingdom around 4:00. So you can go ahead and go and get in line and get there. You'll just be there with some of the other people that are still there from the daytime. It is a separately ticketed event, so a regular daytime park ticket is not included, but you do not need a regular ticket to attend the party. So the party's like its own separate thing. And then the pricing is going to vary by date. Obviously, it's going to get more expensive as you get closer to Halloween. You also have some annual pass holder and DVC member discounts, but those only go through basically the first party in October. October 2nd is the last eligible date for a discount. After that, there's no discount. And honestly, the discount is like $10. So it's not like it's a huge discount when you're looking at a $200 ticket.
Bopping over to Universal Orlando, you have Halloween Horror Nights 35. It runs on select nights from August 28th through November 1st, with premium Scream nights on August 27th and October 19th. This takes place at Universal Studios, Florida, and is also a separately ticketed event. Universal will have 10 haunted houses. There'll be scare zones, live entertainment, themed food and drinks, and event merchandise. Like I alluded to earlier, I went last year. If you want to go back and listen to that. I find it interesting that Halloween at Disney is starting August 7th, and HHN, Halloween Horror Nights, is starting so many weeks later.
Yeah. I think that's usually how they do it. I think, like I was just mentioning, I feel like I agree more with the way that Universal does it. I think waiting until at least late August, almost into September, to me is more of a Halloween vibe. I think because Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is so popular and sells out that they just spread it out into August so that they can give people more opportunity to go. So, as we were just talking about, like you don't have to assume that October is necessarily going to be the only option for you. You have basically the full month of August and September for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and then the full month of the full month of September for Halloween Horror Nights, and then it also goes into November 1st.
And you get some of your best promos in August and September anyway, with rooms across the board.
Yeah.
So Halloween in Orlando, as you might have gathered, is no longer just one night. It's become a full travel season, but it's built around these limited time entertainment, the food, the merch, costumes, atmosphere. Both Disney and Universal are not necessarily chasing the same guest. Disney wants guests to feel like kids at Halloween, where Universal wants guests to feel as though they have stepped into a horror movie. A family with young children, a couple that loves horror, and a group trying to do both need 3 completely different itineraries. And even then, I would say the same family is not going to do the same thing. Like, we talk about this all the time. It's going to depend on your family and how you travel. But hopefully this will give you some ideas on how to do Halloween in Orlando.
We're going to start with a little bit more detail on Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. This is obviously the one that is the most recognizable to families just because of the way they do Halloween. They don't do, I mean, their party is called Not So Scary. So it's specifically so that younger kids can go as well and do trick-or-treating and the whole candy thing and the parade and the fireworks and all those fun things. Magic Kingdom already feels different during the season because it has Mickey pumpkin wreaths and fall garland banners. They have the seasonal music playing, and then the Halloween merch. Oh, the Halloween merch. It's all along Main Street. You can see it in the windows. It's just the best. There's just nothing better than the Mickey pumpkin wreath. I just love them so much. When they go up and they're, they flicker, so they have the lighting with them. They're just amazing. The party basically puts Halloween into one evening with costumes. They have trick-or-treating. You get a bag when you walk in for trick-or-treating, special entertainment, character appearances. The character appearances, we talked about this before. You can really just plan your entire night around just characters because the lines are so long. And if that's important to you, that's what you would do. Party food, we'll talk a little bit about that. We just mentioned the merchandise is just almost impossible to resist. You have to buy something. They have all types. Everything is like an explosion of orange and yellow and black and white, all the Halloween colors. And of course, they also have some attraction enhancements that are themed to Halloween. So the value is not simply just shorter ride lines, because you do have that, because this is a separately ticketed event, like we mentioned. So it's not as many people as you're going to see throughout the day on a typical park day. But really, the event is also about the entertainment, characters, the atmosphere in general, and just experiences that you don't have access to without going to the party.
So something new for 2026, Disney has announced an ever-changing masquerade at the Rocket Tower Plaza stage in Tomorrowland, featuring Stitch, Lilo, and Angel. The theme shifts through the night as Stitch plays with items from Lilo's costume trunk, giving guests a reason to pass through more than once.
So I've got to ask you, does this make you more likely to stop because Stitch is there?
Absolutely not. Hot take. I despise Stitch. I watch the movies. It's cute. I do not like how Stitch is becoming a Mount Rushmore character for Disney. It's like Mickey and Minnie and Winnie the Pooh and Stitch. Like, no, not a fan.
I do not have the same strong feelings about Stitch that Crystal does. However, this would definitely not make me go over to that section. If we happened to be passing by and something cute was happening, yeah, I would definitely stop. And to be honest with you, I probably mostly stop so that I could get content to post, because Stitch is very popular. More than I would go just because I want to see Stitch. And like I said, I don't have any problems with Stitch, but there would be other things that I would want to prioritize than going to Tomorrowland to see Stitch on stage.
Yes, but we know how popular he is, so I'm sure it's going to draw the massive crowd. Something also new for 2026 is Captain Jack Sparrow will bring pirate antics to Adventureland, reinforcing Disney's emphasis on entertainment and spontaneous character interaction rather than treating the party as only a ride night or treats trail. I hope they keep doing these spontaneous character interactions. It's one of my favorite parts about Disneyland, and it just doesn't happen that often at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I think this would bring me into the Adventureland area for me to like try to find Jack. I think that would be so fun. And the cast members that do the character, like they just get so into it, and it's super fun. Some additional things confirmed for 2026 for character experiences. We have Donald, Daisy, Pluto. We just mentioned Stitch, Lilo and Angel and Captain Jack Sparrow, Disney villains, and some other Halloween characters thrown in there. Recent parties have had super high demand on Jack Skellington and Sally, like 2-hour, 3-hour wait times or something crazy like that. People wait in line to see Jack and Sally.
Like, I feel like people bought day tickets just so they could start a line like at 3:30 before party guests could get in, just so they could meet Jack and Sally, who probably didn't show up until 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's crazy. We also have Mickey and Minnie in their Halloween costumes, which they usually change up from year to year. So super cute. The Seven Dwarfs and Winnie the Pooh and their costumes. I can't even with Eeyore and his little party hat that he wears for Halloween. It is just the cutest thing ever. So with all of the wait times, and we just talked about Jack and Sally, which of all those characters that we just kind of talked through, or even one that maybe we haven't mentioned, but it could, maybe potentially in the future, which one would you feel like would be worth giving up a ride or potentially some time somewhere else?
Just in the phase that we are right now with my children, Reese is in her Snow White phase, so we'd have to go meet the dwarves. But Harper is also in a Winnie the Pooh Forever Lover So she would want to do that. So I could foresee spending a lot of time in line for those characters. Jack and Sally, I'm not really a Nightmare Before Christmas person, so I could kind of care less about that. And then Mickey and Minnie you get to see in the parade. So
I would definitely want some villains. Those would be where I would go.
yeah, I can see that. So speaking of people changing costumes, have you seen all the news about the cast members' new costumes for the party this year? All over social media this week.
No.
They're getting rid of like the bright, colorful things, and they have like a black shirt and like pants or shorts, and they have like a little tiny detail on them. But it's like basically a black uniform instead of like their bright, colorful like dresses. Or
Yeah, they were like, weren't they like purple and orange and like green and like they had all these like bright colors.
Yes. If you have not heard it, Google it because everybody's in an uproar about it.
Oh, I wonder if they'll change it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Why do they do that? Like, seriously.
No. It's like a staple of the party is their outfit. It's always similar, like year after year.
Do you think it's so that they'll be like more in the background? Like as the parades and stuff are coming through so that they're not like, they're more like blending in and they're not standing out?
Possibly.
They're bringing back the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular. That is the Sanderson sisters. They are on stage in front of Cinderella Castle, and they have dancers and projections and effects, and they have the Disney villains that include Dr. Facilier, Oogie Boogie, and Maleficent. So this is a big one for Hocus Pocus fans. They do a fantastic job, and it's definitely one of the signature entertainment options for the party.
They do such a good job. They're amazing. I don't know if I'd camp out just for them, but I think I would try and get a good parade spot in such that I could still watch their show.
Right.
Speaking of the parade, the Boo to You Halloween Parade will return twice nightly in 2026. The Headless Horseman traditionally rides the parade route before the procession, weather permitting. Because if you've never ridden a horse on cement when it's wet, it is slick. The Haunted Mansion unit includes the Hitchhiking Ghost, ghostly dancers, and the iconic Grave Diggers. They drag shovels across the pavement, creating sparks, so be prepared for that. And then Mickey, Minnie, and other characters appear in their Halloween costumes. Then the villains will follow with other party-specific performers. If you could only choose one, are you doing parade or fireworks?
I'm probably going to do the parade. I love fireworks. I really do. But I just feel like the parade feels more personal because you get to see the characters. Like if you get a decent, even if you don't get a decent spot, like you can still see them pretty well. And you get to see the characters up close. That, and like you just talked about, you know, with Disney World, you don't get that a lot unless you go to and stand in line to see a character. So I think that's one of the reasons why I love parades so much is because you get to see the characters pretty up close and you get to see such a variety of characters because their parades have so many different characters in them.
Yeah, same. And I like this parade enough that I may stake claim a little early. Probably going to be a situation where someone sits and saves and someone else goes and gets food and brings it back and trade. Seems to work the best for our family. Mobile order. Friends, mobile order is your friend in that situation.
Yeah, seriously. They also are going to have the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular, and this includes Jack Skellington. He hosts a nighttime spectacular with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. It also has projections, lasers, lighting, and fireworks. Basically, this is a story. He tells a story about the characters go into this haunted house. It's filled with skeletons and ghosts and villains. So you kind of just follow the story as Jack is telling it. One of the most memorable things about it is that Zero flies over Cinderella Castle before the show.
I never knew that.
Any of you that love The Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero is like the star of the show. He's the best.
Very fun. Something else that is fun is the trick-or-treat trails. They are included with the admission and adults are welcome to participate. They have allergy-friendly options available through Disney has like a token process that allows guests to exchange your tokens for approved treats. Candy alone is not a reason to pay for the party, but families can leave with surprisingly full bags. I always suggest taking an extra little drawstring bag or something.
Absolutely.
There are little bags they give you can fill quickly. And also, they do freeze and refrigerate the chocolate beforehand. So unless it's like August, you should be okay because you're getting cooler in the evening.
Yeah.
But say not this particular party, Disneyland's version, we had enough candy. We brought it home and gave it out for trick-or-treating because we had enough. And
Yeah.
for treat.
The thing is, the cast members, they'll tell you, you can come through the line as many times as you want, basically. So if there's not like a big line, you can just loop back through multiple times. And they'll give you candy, and they'll give you huge handfuls of candy every time you go through.
And then sometimes they have like these big scoops.
Mm-hmm.
They're like scooping and dumping, and the scoop enough.
Yep.
The scoop is going to like fill your bag. So be ready for that. Maybe take an extra couple bags.
Definitely take extra. Some of the Halloween attraction enhancements are Space Mountain. It runs in complete darkness with party audio. The My Tea Party receives colorful lighting effects. Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor that has had Halloween jokes incorporated. And audience interaction along the treat trail. There's a treat trail that goes through Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, so that's why that's there. Pirates of the Caribbean has featured live pirate interactions. They've had that in previous parties. Even if you could not care less about candy or characters, you also have other options. You have lots of other fun things with the attractions and the entertainment, the parades, the fireworks, the spectaculars, and the shows on the stage in front of the castle. Like all of that is super, super fun and Halloween themed.
So let's talk food merch. Because the first party is starting this week, we do have the foodie guide. So there are things like the Headless Horseman treat. It's a pumpkin pie tart with whipped cheesecake, spiced caramel panna cotta, candied pecans, and marshmallow buttercream flames. Some other things would be like pumpkin gelato pumpkin sundae, a Hades Mexican hot chocolate cake pop, Ursula wildberry soft serve cone, a not so poison apple donuts and beignets. And then, of course, savory options, devilish crispy chicken sandwich, bowl of bones pork wings, and party-exclusive loaded fries. Some offerings are only available during the party, while others are available during regular park hours. Just check the menus. Make sure you look to kind of prioritize your plan. And then we talked about merch already, but it's a little bit of everything. They're adorable. I need it all. Mickey Halloween pumpkins galore. Although I really love the Mickey ghost that they do. It's very cute.
Honestly, like pretty much everything that has Halloween on it, I'm going to want to buy it. I mean, I can't afford to do that, but if I had the money to, I would buy all of it.
Every year about this time, I send Julie pictures of the Costco Mickey Halloween haunted house little display, because I have one. And I keep trying to tell her she needs one.
Oh, they're so cute. Okay, so let's talk about, is the party worth the extra money? So what do you think?
Yes. But I'm going to refer back to my same answer I had with the Christmas party. If you do this year after year, not a lot changes. So maybe like an every other year, every couple of years kind of thing. Also, if you have kids who just can't hang after 8 o'clock, you might just be miserable. We've been down there during the Halloween party and not done the party. Like, I wanted to. Like, it ended up working out because it rained all night and my kids were cranky. So it worked out for the best. But I just have serious FOMO. So if you have a very tight budget, I might pick a full day at Magic Kingdom over the party. Just because there's so much going on at the party, you can't dedicate as much time to all the rides and things like you would during the day because you're trying to fit in the extras.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I would agree that, especially if this is your first time going to Disney World, I would not recommend a full park day and doing the party. So not buying a Magic Kingdom day ticket, or really even a ticket to any of the other parks and going to the party that night. If your budget is like you want to go to each of the parks, one time, then it might be better to do this maybe on a second trip in the same time frame, just so that you get to experience Magic Kingdom really during the day and all of the like typical Magic Kingdom type things instead of all of the party stuff. The party is hectic. I mean, I will say, like, it, even for someone that has been to Disney World a lot, the party itself, there's a lot going on. You can't fit all of it in anyway. I mean, you're just not going to be able to. So if you're already in that kind of, you're brand new to the parks as it is, it can definitely feel a little bit overwhelming with all of the different things. And if you're going to get your money's worth, you do need to stay until midnight or close to it. And you feel that pressure to stay because of that. And like Crystal said, maybe your family just isn't at that age where they can do that. It's probably better to wait.
And I like to look at it as the parties are a very high concentrate of everybody in the same place. Where on like your regular Magic Kingdom day, you can kind of pick your own adventure, whether you rope drop, whether you sleep in, and you kind of get to dictate your own day. The parties are very structured. And you're trying to hit the parade, you're trying to hit the fireworks along with everybody else. So that's, I feel like, where that added layer of a little bit of chaos can come into play.
Yeah. One of the things you can benefit from, if this is the first time you've gone to the parks and you don't do the party, and you go to Magic Kingdom on a party day, as long as you're okay with not seeing the fireworks in Magic Kingdom, that's not a like you must do type thing. It is really way less stressful because the park is emptier because it's a party day and not as many people go during the day to Magic Kingdom because they know that it's a party day and they have to leave by like 6 o'clock.
So one thing you may not realize that Halloween at Disney is not limited to just the party. There are other things going on around property. The Epcot Food and Wine Festival overlaps much of the season and gives the adults a seasonal alternative centered on food, beverages, and entertainment rather than the costumes and candy. Epcot can work as a lighter morning or early afternoon before a party, but guests should avoid turning it into another full park day if they want to last until midnight. The resorts, the Halloween decorations aren't as extensive as Christmas displays, but there are still seasonal pumpkin-flavored treats and desserts and drinks and merch across all the resorts. And then at Disney Springs, this is also a practical place to browse your Halloween merch and your seasonal food and fit in some fall-themed photos without using party time. So it's always fun to see because every store there has something going on seasonally, I feel like.
Yeah, it's fun to walk into the World of Disney and they have like huge like Halloween merch section. It's like, oh, so fun. Okay, really quickly, we talked about this a little bit before, but a couple of options for how we would plan out the day if you were going to the Mickey's Not So Scary party at night. For the first option, my strongest support is for this option. Resort day, sleep in, enjoy the pool, do a relaxing lunch, whether that's, doing a table service somewhere at a resort or just doing a quick service. Really just relax throughout the day. Don't have any major agenda. And then get dressed and ready for the party and get there pretty close to 4 o'clock so that you can get in and get situated. The second option is if you did want to do a little bit of a park that morning, then get there early, like get up, go to the park, whether, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, or Hollywood Studios to one of the different parks, but then leave fairly early, I would say by like lunchtime at the latest. Grab yourself something to eat and just rest for several hours until you're ready to go to Magic Kingdom. Don't extend your time in the park that you decide to go to. Like, don't just say, okay, we'll just hang around until everybody feels like leaving. Don't do that. Say, okay, we're going to go and we're going to leave by 11 or we're going to leave by noon or whatever that time is. And like I said, I would not go past noon. That I think you're pushing it because your turnaround by the time you get back to a resort and then get ready and then are going back to Magic Kingdom, like that really leaves very little downtime. I don't really like that option at all. But I understand if you want to try to get as much time in the parks as possible, I get it. And then the last, and to be honest, I do not recommend this. This is definitely something you can do, but it is a very long day, and I would not suggest having any kind of plans for the following day. Basically doing a full Magic Kingdom day, so having a park ticket for Magic Kingdom, and then also having a party ticket, and just going 150% and having your Magic Kingdom day during the day and maybe take a little bit of break and come back for the party. But like I said, I really think that this is a recipe for having a terrible time at the party and that you just spent $200 per person and wasted that money.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. The resort day is my favorite option, but regardless of what option you choose, I would highly, highly, highly suggest you eat a good late lunch, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, depending on if it's a quick service or a sit down, and make sure you have that good hearty meal, because once you're trying to get to Magic Kingdom, trying to make sure everybody's costumed, you're getting in, trying to get a lay of the land. You don't want the hangries entering, and it's chaos. That first hour or so when you're trying to figure out, don't waste your time in the park trying to go find food. Save it for later when you finally can take breath and take a minute to relax.
100% agree.
All right, so we've talked about candy, we've talked about costumes and Mickey. Now we're taking a very hard left because Universal is not pretending this is not scary.
No, quite the opposite. So just really quickly, Halloween Horror Nights, it is at Universal Studios. It is a separately ticketed nighttime event with 10 haunted houses. You have the scare zones, you have live entertainment, you have food, drinks, merchandise, you have all the things. Universal has a warning on its website that says it's probably going to be too intense for children under 13, and it's not recommended. You know your child, and you know your people, so you know, make the best decision for you. But just as an FYI, it is very intense. And this one does not allow costumes or masks because of the environment that it is. And because a lot of the scare actors, they have on these costumes and they have masks. And so it's just not a good combination if guests are also coming in dressed up. The target guest is for a horror fan. So older teens, adults, friend group, anyone that in general just enjoys immersive haunted attractions and suspense. The scare zones, they come at you with chainsaws or they will jump at you. So this is definitely more intense environment. The edge for Universal is really this storytelling with the scare zones and with the haunted houses. It's amazing. And the people that all that goes into this is just incredible. This detailed sets, the lighting, the sound, the props, costumes, the professional actors that do the scare zones, it's all just above and beyond.
So last year I did an R.I.P. tour, and our guide was kind of he helped create the scares, like way back when it all started. And the stories he was telling us about how Universal has created some of these storylines that, like, there's certain clowns that are now widely recognized for Halloween that started because of scare houses at Universal. The backstories and the depth is absolutely mind-boggling at how deep they get into this. So each of the 10 houses has a theme. Some of them are based on movies. Some of them are based on their own storylines that they develop over the years. A lot of times, if they're trying out a new storyline, they'll introduce it as like a scare zone or something first to kind of lay the story and the breadcrumbs for the next year, or then, maybe something won't come back for 10 years, but it'll all be intertwined. So as of right now, we only have 4 house themes confirmed, but we're only a couple weeks out. So I'm guessing between now and then, they're going to be releasing probably 2 a week to get through them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure even maybe by the time this comes out, we will have another one announced. But we have Stranger Things 5. The house returns guests to Hawkins for the final chapter with threats including Demogorgons and Mind Flayer and Vinka. Number 2 is Sinners. This is based on a film. This house sends guests into the Smokestack Twins juke joint as bloodthirsty vampires crash the night. Number 3 is Hellraiser. The house draws from the original Hellraiser trilogy and brings guests to the realm of Pinhead and the Cenobites. And number 4, Evil Dead Burn. Based on the new film, the Book of the Dead is reopened and guests encounter possessed deadites. Just to kind of give you context, last year, some of the licensed houses included things like Fallout, Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, and Jason Universe. And then some of the original concepts were El Artista, A Spanish Haunting, Dolls, Let's Play Dead, Grave of Flesh. There was that stupid clown. He's one of the ones that they have started. They put actors in this clown concept that they started long, like 40 years ago, and would just plant him in parks until he got the cops called on him to like make it like national news that clowns were creepy, because until then, clowns weren't known to be creepy.
Oh, gosh. Well, I know I would love to go specifically for the Stranger Things house. I love Stranger Things, and that IP would definitely draw me in. I mean, I think they're very good at bringing in licensed houses with licensed IP to draw in the fans of those particular series or movies. But then they also have amazing original concepts, like Crystal mentioned, the ones that they had from last year. They usually mix in a couple of their own concepts along with the licensed houses.
Are you going to try and go this year?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because I am going in October to Universal. I should ask the group to see if anybody would want to go. I know Margie won't want to go. But I might be able to talk somebody else into it.
Because I just know that Stranger Things it may not be back for a while.
I know. I would love to go. That's a good idea. Let's talk about the scare zones and some of the live entertainment. Halloween Horror Nights happens throughout the park. So it's not like you go into a haunted house and then you come back out and it's just like the regular park. The whole park is themed around this. So the scare zones use these phenomenal scare actors and performers, fog, lighting, music, themed environments around and in between the houses as part of the event. To be honest, I think a lot of people prefer the scare zones over the houses themselves because they're so intense and so interactive, and there's so much detail that go into them and so much storytelling behind them that they're as much of the event as the houses themselves. They're also, because of the nature of them, it's hard to avoid them. As you're moving through the parks, like you have to kind of walk through them for the most part. So just be prepared for that. Last year, they had a little like medallion that you could wear, that you could ask for, that basically was an indicator to the scare actors, like to not jump at you. And I think they were pretty good about it. If they saw that you had one on, they would not come around you and they would not mess with you. So if you're scared of people kind of touching you or jumping out at you, I'm guessing they'll use that again this year.
So I asked about those last year. I asked our little guide, and I asked Dan, who was with us, who goes, they have frequent fear passes, they go all the time. You cannot use them in the houses. You can only use them in the scare zones. And our guide said, if you want to spend the money, that's fine. But also stay off your phone and move to the sidewalk, move to the outskirts, and they're not going to bug you. So you could do both and like really avoid it, but don't buy it expecting to not be approached in the houses.
Yeah. I think it's probably a lot more difficult to do in the houses, just the way that they're structured. It's impossible for them to not, in the way that people are walking through them, it's very difficult for them to be able to do that. So that's very understandable. They also have live entertainment. that's occurring throughout. They have previously included the Nightmare Fuel style combination of dance, acrobatics, fire, and rock music. So it's very interesting. It's very intense. And I remember Crystal specifically saying that it was definitely not a kid-friendly type environment, but that the entertainers were amazing. They also have things like in the Harry Potter areas, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, they have Death Eaters that walk around throughout the streets, which is really cool as well.
Yeah, the Nightmare Fuel is very like Vegas Cirque du Soleil burlesque show, but it was an amazing display of acrobatics and stuff like that. So I would say very heavy PG-13, possibly R-rated on that one. All right. Food, drinks, and the tribute store. So they have not released their foodie guide yet. I don't know if I can officially call it a foodie guide because Disney calls it their foodie guides. But last year they had things like these yum yum deviled eggs that we were like sweet. Like they were like candy. They were not deviled eggs. It was very trippy on the mind. I still dream about those deep fried pickles with like the buffalo chicken dip. That was amazing. They always just have some very fun, interesting Halloween themed things. They're not usually directly tied to the houses or the characters. It's just kind of part of the vibe. The tribute store is a very big piece of this. It is part themed walkthrough, part merchandise location, part photo experience. So you can kind of get a taste for like the design quality of the houses, but it's also a good place to get like your shirt and your hat, your pins. So last year it was in the gift shop of the Mummy when you got off the Mummy, but I know that that's a different place than it's been in the past. So it is fun to go in there and get your themed merch.
There are some really great options that Halloween Horror Nights offers that you don't get on the Disney side. And I think it's awesome the way they do this. You can get Express Pass for the evening, and it is Express Passes for the houses. So it's really awesome. Instead of waiting 1 to 2 hours, I think sometimes if it's like super busy night, you can wait that long for the houses and you can make sure that you get all of the houses in if you want to. I think it's difficult to do that if you don't have Express Pass. The R.I.P. tour that Crystal went on, strongly recommend it. It was a fantastic experience for Crystal. She really, the time that we've talked about it, and you can go back, like we were saying, and listen to the episode from last year, that if you have enough people that can go in on the tour, it's actually not like hugely expensive and you get so much benefits from it. The value is amazing because you get a guided tour in addition to basically having Express Pass to go through the houses. You also have, you got food included, right?
We had dinner. We had like unlimited like drink and water, like so soda and water, but we had like private bar stops if you wanted it. But we did 12 houses and we weren't even there the entire time. Like we left early.
I just think that's awesome because you are going to stand in line a lot if you go without using Express Pass or doing something like an R.I.P. tour. And I think honestly, like one of the biggest benefits of it is having that tour guide. The person that the group got last year was amazing. He added so much to it because he incorporated a lot of the storytelling that you may not get just looking at the house or the scare zone at the surface level. He was able to give them background on it, and that made the experience so much better.
And the added bonus was you do not just hop in the Express Pass line. You bypass the entire line and get front door access. There's no waiting even 2 minutes. And these are like sound stages or like massive tents that they've put backstage. You definitely get high priority over anybody else.
Another couple of other options that you can maybe, the R.I.P. tour is just not in the budget. You have something called a Scream Early ticket. This ticket adds Universal Studios Florida admission beginning at 2 p.m. to the Halloween Horror Night ticket. It includes early access to at least 3 of the haunted houses. This is up to Universal as to what those are. Obviously, plus some extra time for attractions. You can enter beginning at 2 p.m., but in order to benefit from this, you do need to be in by 5 o'clock. Another option is the Stay and Scream ticket. This is a daytime ticket and same day Halloween Horror Night admission. What this does is allows you to remain inside the park instead of leaving and coming back. The key advantage of this is that because you're inside the park before the event happens, you're able to kind of get in line and get in whatever spot you want to be before the other people that are coming in from outside the park.
So I may be remembering wrong, but I feel like there's like an hour where day guests are supposed to be kicked out, and they're kind of like opening up the scare zones and turning things over.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start running things a little early, but they don't let outside guests in until like that certain time.
Right.
So if you do Stay and Scream, you kind of are kind of in there, not kind of behind the scenes, but kind of, because you're kind of getting ready to go, and they'll let you kind of go first before they open the main gates.
Yeah, it's almost like early park access.
Yes, yes.
And then the last option that's a little bit different than the typical ticket is the Premium Scream Night. They have that listed for August 27th and October 19th. This is basically where it's a limited attendance event. So you have shorter waits, and then the typical Halloween Horror Nights night. And then there's certain all you care to enjoy food that you have access to for this night with this particular ticket.
All right. So let's talk about Universal during the day, kind of beyond the Horror Nights party. I hate to call it a party, but it is. So a major misconception is that Universal becomes scary all day during Halloween season, but it does not. Families can still visit Universal Studios Florida normally during daytime operating hours. There are no roaming scare actors during the regular park day. Guests may see like some buildings or gates or event preparation, and Halloween merch will be available, but a lot of things like there was one particular thing that was like a bunch of gargoyles. They kind of had like black tarps over it. So you just kind of saw what looked like rock wall during the day. The tribute store is typically accessible during regular park hours. This allows guests who do not attend Halloween Horror Nights to experience the theming, merchandise, and photo opportunities. This is when I did it because I didn't have time during the R.I.P. tour. I could have like said, hey, I want to go to the tribute store, but I just did it while I was there during the day. And then City Walk and Universal hotels provide convenient meals and an easier transition before or after the late night. City Walk has the Twisted Coconut Club. Is that what it turns over to?
Mm-hmm.
That's very fun themed. And then, like, of course, it's very convenient to stay within walking distance of one of the hotels there on property.
Let's talk about where to stay and how to pace the trip. For a Disney-focused trip, obviously you would want to stay on property. We always recommend that as it is, but it's going to offer the on-site transportation. You're going to have all the immersion, just easier access to Magic Kingdom, especially when you're leaving the party around midnight. It makes a huge difference that you don't have to go out and get in your car and drive back to a hotel or figure out what you're doing. You can just get on transportation and go back to your resort and crash. For the Halloween Horror Nights focus trip, Crystal just mentioned the proximity of the hotels that are near the OG parks is definitely a plus. You can use a resort transportation, or potentially wherever you are, you could potentially walk to get there. That's definitely preferable, again, to a long drive after getting the crap scared out of you for a few hours. If you wanted to try to do a split stay, you could do this. I think this would be really stressful, in my opinion. but you could. It usually makes sense if you have the ability. If you're truly doing a split stay, you're splitting it between the two parks, then you can stay at Disney for the first part, or whichever one you stay at first, you prioritize first, stay in that area, and then transition to the other one for the second part. If you're just doing a party at one or the other, it probably makes more sense to just stay at one resort location and go to the party and then come back. What do you think?
The split stay is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Anything short is just hard in general. I did my Halloween Horror Nights, and I was there for 2 nights. I didn't even pay 2 full days of parking at the airport. I do not recommend that. Do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah, you slept for like an hour or something and then had to get up and go to the airport.
Yeah, and that was just logistics of when I didn't get to choose the R.I.P. tour. I was invited. So, and just with our family schedule, that's how it worked out. But if you see people doing a little 3-night trip and they're doing both parties, that's not realistic. I would say it's a lot to do 2 parties in a week, but you're going to be tired the next day. So maybe put in a lot of resort time.
It was hard to do a split stay at Disney on property at Disney. I think it would be extremely difficult to do a split stay, especially if it's a short trip between 2 different parks. The parks are not as close as you think they are. Yes, they're both in Orlando, but they're not like a quick hop, skip, and a jump next to each other.
Well, and then if you don't have a car, the logistics get a little bit crazy. At Disney, they will transfer your luggage between Disney resorts. Universal will not do that. And they will absolutely not do that between Disney and Universal.
Right.
So if you're adding in Uber with all your luggage, if you need car seats, that's another logistical nightmare. And then, if you get there and they don't have a room ready and you're like, well, I would like to get to the park. So what, you have Bell Services hold your bag and then you get back at 1 a.m. and not have your, then you have to go find your bag. And it just, if you can avoid it, do. Some quick tips from us as we kind of are wrapping up here. Do not assume October is the only time to go. As we mentioned, Disney begins August 7th and Halloween Horror Nights begins August 28th. Expect heat. The humidity and the rain, even during Halloween season, are overwhelming. It is also hurricane season in Orlando. And choose your costume wisely.
Wigs are a no-go for me. I can't do it. It's so hot.
I don't know how people go all out with these big elaborate costumes. It's I'm more of a t-shirt theme kind of person for these because it's so hot. Choose priorities before you arrive. A game plan is always highly recommended from us. So at Disney, your parade, your characters, your fireworks, your candy or attractions, a Halloween Horror Night, your houses, your scare zones, what food or shows to maximize your house count. Both locations use the official apps for current waits, maps, entertainment schedules, and operational updates. Both places use behind the scenes trails or access depending on how, at Disney, depending on how heavy Main Street is with traffic, they open a back door and a back alleyway. So even if you think you know the parks, things change for the parties. And like I said, the Halloween Horror Nights, you're off in some cast trailers, way back in the back 40. Your most popular dates and tours and premium options will sell out, and you book based on the group's priorities rather than waiting for the perfect last minute trip. Halloween, gone. Usually the first night sells out fairly quickly as well. And then as we get closer to Halloween, prices increase. So it's kind of a fine line there of, do you want a better rate or do you want to go closer to the actual Halloween day? And then just know your group's fear tolerance. Halloween Horror Nights is not the place to discover that your child or an adult cannot tolerate jump scares and graphic imagery. I've said, I'm not a scary movie person. I made it my goal to not scream. I succeeded, but I was also in the middle of the pack and laughed my way through it because I could watch the scares. But I kind of figured that out very quickly. And I had tips from other people. Wear earplugs. It was a game changer. just so you can kind of not have so many outside noises affecting you. Do you have any other tips?
I want to reiterate, if you have a particular date that you think that you want to go, you need to get your ticket as soon as they are available. If you're working with a travel advisor, please make sure that they're aware if you want to go. And if we bug the crap out of you, emailing you back and asking you to make a decision, it's because we're stressed out that you're going to miss out on the date that you want, because it will sell out. And no, like the dates in the middle, they don't sell out as quickly, but you don't know. You never know. And it's not like you can buy it closer to when you go, like a typical park ticket. You have to buy it as soon as you know for sure that's the date that you want to go. To wrap up, after we've talked through all of these things, or talked through the 2 different parks and the 2 different vibes that they have, there's really not like one best option in general. It comes down to, like a lot of the things we talk about, it comes down to you and your preferences, your family, your friend group, whatever it is, whatever the travel party is, that's going to be the best experience for you. So you just have to know the people that you're traveling with and know what's going to work the best. If you're looking for Mickey pumpkins and candy and costumes and fireworks and the parade and just kind of more like cutesy Halloween, Disney's going to be the best option for you. If you want to have the crap scared out of you and you love movie type production haunted houses with the scare zones and the storytelling and the entertainment, Halloween Horror Nights, hands down, it's going to be amazing.
And if you're truly crazy enough, you could do both.
Yeah.
But if you could only choose one for your next Orlando trip, are you picking Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Halloween Horror Nights? Send us an email or tell us over on Instagram. And if you're trying to figure out how to build Disney, Universal, or both into the same Halloween vacation, Christmas vacation, that's where we come in and can help. So just a reminder, that is completely free to you. So reach out. We would love to help create the most magical trip for you.
Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful upcoming week, and we will chat with you all next week. Bye!
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.